I had the chance to watch Chef last night, and I had so much fun with this movie. It was so funny. I didn't expect to laugh as much. And so, for one of my first questions, I wanted to ask you what decision was made, or how did you know going into this project that you wanted to make this more of a comedy than the previous films have been?
I did. I found that I could. I really believe that I could make the film respectable of where Shaq comes from, and that is the coolest individual walking the earth. But I also felt like we could have a lot of fun with that, in the sense of basically something that Kenya gave me, which was he gave me this script that put Shaft, or Sam Jackson, Shaft as the dinosaur in this world of new, and the fact that he's never changed, and so he still does everything the Shaft way, and I think to look at how that either works in today's world or doesn't is just a fun way to make a movie, and so I was interested in immediately after reading the script.
That's actually one of the things that really interests me in this version of Shaft, because what we see from so many franchises as they continue on throughout the course of the years is that you find these films losing their essence of what they were when they started and trying to conform to the political correctness of our times. And while watching Shaft, I was just blown away because I was just like, this is Shaft. Like, he has no apologies. Shaft is going to be who he is at all times, no matter who he's talking to. And so I also want to ask how intentional that was to keep this essence of who Shaft is from back in the 70s to now in 2019 in our current climate.
Well, I actually thought it was fun. I just think where we are now in society and just how everything, this new world we're living in, it's just fun to have these conversations of what has been and should it be that way still. And when you have a person that doesn't compromise on their point of view, it just kind of allows for a lot of I like to say debate, about what's the word for it, what's appropriate and what's not. And I just found that, first of all, I'm starting off with Sam Jackson, so nobody knows this character better than he. And to have somebody that kind of knows, Tim, this is how I would come in this room and do this and do that, I'm kind of cheating in a little bit where I have like a kind of a head start on how a thing should go down. And then, of course, you add in Jesse Usher and you add in the other actors like my good friend Regina Hall, and you just have a kind of a playground where you can ask these questions of how things should be and or how they shouldn't. And so we just kind of approached it with the respect of we would sometimes have to debate ourselves, our conversations ourselves about, what's the best way to approach this. But we always just were, respectful of what Shaft is and what he won't do, but also respectful of the society we're in now and how we can maybe mind that for humor at the same time respecting it.
So I do have a question, because one of the interesting concepts of Shaft is the different generations of the Shaft family that we have in this film. And I had such a strong appreciation of how that was illustrated throughout the course of the film. And I wanted to know that as a director for a film as this version of Shaft, does your approach change when you have leads that are coming from different generational backgrounds?
Great question. You know what? I would say not really, and what I mean by that is in dealing with the actor. Every actor kind of has the way they like to do things. I have no problem saying that. When I go on set with Sam Jackson, I don't have to give Sam a whole lot of, hey, do this, do that. He kind of knows where he wants to go, and as we do rehearsals, it allows me to know, okay, he wants to go this way, and then I might, discuss with Jesse Usher how, a little tweak to the way we were thinking we were going to do something, because now that Sam is doing it that way, it's going to work this way. So when it comes to the generational things, I just find that every actor, I think regardless of age, there's an actor that acts, wants to wants input from the director a certain way, and there's just types of actors, and at some point you realize who you're dealing with and what they need from you, how much they need it, and hopefully when they need it. And I kind of approach it, I could say it's not really different, but at the same time, there are different people and different actors and how they work.
So I have to ask this question. So there is this debate happening on social media right now as to why the names of the Shaft films, why it hasn't changed from Shaft. We had the original Shaft in 1971, and then the 2000 Shaft with Samuel Jackson, and now we have this 2019 version of Shaft, but everyone is confused because they're just like, why are they all called Shaft? So, could you shed a little background into why you still chose to go with the title Shaft for this 2019 version of the film?
Sometimes it might just be as simple as we just felt the iconic word of Shaft. Because these movies are being done 20, like literally each of them, even the first one is 30 years from when the first one came out. So you got 30 years between that, and then 20 years between Sam doing the last one. We just felt that we're hopefully, if we're successful, we're hopefully going to have a chance to kind of start this again. And we just felt that there's nothing more iconic than that word. We think it lives alone. We think it doesn't need any help. But I must admit, if we get a chance to, do this again, if the cards play that we can, now you'll start to see titles. Now you'll start to see a little title change or an added this and that. But it's nothing more than we just thought that the word Shaft stands on its own.
And I'm just going to go ahead and claim it right now when you create the next Shaft movie. I'm just going to claim it.
I love that. I'm so glad
you have to be intentional with our words.
Yeah, I like your style.
So, after doing a little bit of research on your filmography, one of the things that really stuck out to me was the fact that you directed the Fantastic Four in 2005, and then also two Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer sequel in 2007. And so with us having so many conversations in regards to representation and diversity in film, but really importantly also to having that diversity behind the camera, as being one of the first African American directors to really direct a full comic book film based on comic book characters, I wanted to know what your view is on the industry. Do you feel as though that the industry is moving in the right direction, or do you feel that we still have a lot more work to do when it comes to representation from the director's perspective?
From the director's perspective, which is, I guess, me, I would say that we are definitely moving in the right direction. I think we do have a ways to go, and I think when you speak specifically on behind the camera, we sometimes get caught up in directors / producers, writers, but there's a whole industry behind it. Like I'm trying to the best of my ability to actually start types of training for script supers, DP, grips, electricians, all of these types of people that help me make these movies. I want to see more of that. In Shaft, I was able to finally work with Lynn Thomas, who is one of the leading black, production designers, and to walk into his room and to see architects, black architects that are working on these sets was just I kind of spent more time there just because of that, because all of these people that so many times in my project are non-black or not a person of color, to walk in there and see that, it makes sense. And you also look at it and you say, I've got to be a part of helping this happen. And I think when it really comes down to it, it's training. And then beyond training, it's getting the opportunity to do it over and over again, because that's how you get good at what you do, and that's how people bring you back to people.
Well, I'm just going to have to leave it right there. I think that's the perfect way to end the conversation.
Well, cool. Well, Well, thank you for seeing the movie. I'm so happy you had a good time
I
in it.
did. I had a really great time. The audience was laughing from beginning to the end of the film. I'm so excited for everyone to be able to see Chef when it comes out in theaters next week, June 14th.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tim.